All right, let's get into it. Another deep dive. And today we are going to be talking about a game that a lot of you requested, Chargers and Falcons. And I think a lot of you requested this one because, on the surface, it just seemed like a really interesting clash of styles.
Yeah.
Kind of like a classic, like a smash mouth football versus air raid offense. So are you ready to dive into this one?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great one to break down because it really highlights how the game is evolving at the NFL level.
Yeah.
You've got the Falcons coming in, like you said, with that old school, ground and pound, run heavy, control the clock mentality. And then the Chargers, who are, part of this new wave of, explosive pass-heavy offenses that we're seeing more and more of these days.
Totally, totally. So should we set the scene here a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so Mercedes-Benz Stadium down in Atlanta. Both these teams are fighting for playoff spots. There's a lot on the line. And early on, it seemed like the Falcons just had their way with the Chargers, especially on the ground.
Yeah, you could just tell right away they had a game plan. They were going to establish the run, and they were going to stick with it.
And Bijan Robinson, the rookie running back, was unbelievable. He had, 85 rushing yards and a touchdown in the first half alone?
Yeah, he was a man on a mission. But you also got to give credit to that offensive line. Those guys were moving people, creating those huge holes for Robinson to run through.
They were like road graders out there. Yeah. They were just like paving the way. It really makes you appreciate the importance of a good offensive line.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone loves the flashy runs and the touchdowns. But it all starts up front with those big guys in the trenches.
Those unsung heroes, for sure.
Yep. They don't always get the credit they deserve, but they're the foundation of a good offense.
No doubt about it. And for the Falcons, it wasn't just about running the ball either.
Right.
Desmond Ridder, their quarterback, he was playing a very efficient game, I would say.
Yeah, very smart, very disciplined.
Sticking to those short passes, keeping the chains moving, letting that running game do its thing and really control the tempo.
He wasn't trying to do too much, which is exactly what they needed from him in this game.
Exactly.
Just manage the game, don't make mistakes, and let that run game wear down the Chargers' defense.
And meanwhile, the Chargers, they just looked completely out of sync in that first half, especially on offense.
It's like they couldn't find their rhythm,
Yeah. Justin Herbert, their quarterback, star player, he was under pressure all day.
Yeah, Grady Jarrett especially was just giving him fits.
It was like he was in Herbert's backfield all game. And you can just see how that pressure was affecting everything. Like,
totally.
He was having to scramble. He couldn't really step into his throws. It was almost like the opposite of what the Falcons were doing.
Right.
Their passing game, which is usually their strength, was totally shut down.
And they couldn't get their running game going either.
It was tough to watch if you're a Chargers fan.
Right. Yeah, it was not the start they were hoping for.
But they were only down 14-10 at halftime, which honestly felt like a miracle.
Yeah, they were lucky to be that close, considering how dominant the Falcons looked.
Yeah, they managed to get that one touchdown late in the second quarter. Herbert connected with Keenan Allen. That kept them in the game. But, man, you had to wonder, what adjustments could they possibly make at halftime to turn things around?
That's what makes coaching so crucial in this league, You got to be able to make those in-game adjustments, adapt to what the other team is doing. And in the third quarter, it was like the Chargers flipped a switch. They came out looking like a completely different team.
It was unbelievable. It was like they'd spent halftime dissecting the Falcons' defense, and they came out with a whole new playbook.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They made some key adjustments, and the players responded.
Yeah, they absolutely did.
That 50-yard bomb from Herbert to Mike Williams was just like a statement play.
Oh, man. It was like a bolt of lightning. You could feel the energy shift in the stadium. It was like, boom, the Chargers are back in this thing.
And suddenly, their offense was clicking. They started moving the ball. They were making plays.
Yeah, it wasn't just about the big plays either. Right. They started utilizing Austin Ekeler more, getting him involved in both the running and the passing game.
Yeah, Ekeler is such a versatile weapon.
He's electric. He finished with 100 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns.
He was a nightmare for the Falcons' defense.
They couldn't figure out how to stop him.
It's funny, because the Falcons were so effective early on with that very specific, run-heavy approach.
Right.
But you often see this in the NFL. Teams start strong with a clear game plan.
Yeah.
But then defenses adjust. They figure things out.
And then you got to have a counterpunch, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in this case, the Chargers started stacking the box, anticipating the run.
Right.
And the Falcons, they didn't really have that counterpunch in their passing game.
So it's all about balance, right?
Yeah.
You need that multifaceted attack to keep defenses guessing.
It's like a chess match. You have to be able to adapt and react to your opponent's moves.
And you can't be predictable.
Yeah.
You can't just rely on one strategy, no matter how effective it might be initially.
Exactly. You got to keep the defense on their toes.
So even though the Falcons were dominating the time of possession in that first half, they weren't necessarily dictating the terms of the game, you know?
Right. The Chargers weathered the storm, and then they were able to exploit the holes in their strategy.
And that's what good teams do.
Yes.
They find a way to win even when things aren't going their way.
And they make adjustments. That's huge.
Absolutely. I mean, think about what it takes for a quarterback like Justin Herbert to operate under that kind of pressure.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting hit all game long.
It's not just about being physically gifted. It's about reading the defense, making quick decisions.
Trusting your receivers, even when you're getting hit.
It's mental toughness, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
It's being able to stay calm and collected under duress.
Yep.
And Herbert showed that he has that, for sure. But the Falcons didn't just roll over, did they?
No, they fought back.
It became a real back-and-forth battle.
It was a great game to watch.
It was. You know, Desmond Ridder connected with Kyle Pitts for a touchdown, and suddenly they were back in the lead.
Yeah, Ridder made some really impressive throws in this game, especially that one to Pitts.
It was a thing of beauty. And the Falcons' defense, they kept making plays, too.
Yep, they weren't going away quietly.
It was a true test of both teams' resilience.
Absolutely.
It really felt like either team could win.
Oh, yeah, it was down to the wire.
But then, in the fourth quarter, the Chargers' defense, they started to step up.
They made some big plays when they needed to.
Yeah, Khalil Mack, the veteran linebacker, he had that crucial sack on Ridder, that first punt, and you could just feel the momentum shift again.
Mack's a game changer.
Oh, he's a disruptor, for sure.
You could feel the energy shift on the field when he made that play.
Like the whole stadium just like exhaled, you know? And the Chargers defense, they just started swarming after that. It's amazing how one player can have such a ripple effect, isn't it?
It's incredible. It's like a chain reaction, you know?
One big play can spark an entire team.
It's contagious, that energy, that momentum.
And then, of course, we got that classic Justin Herbert game-winning drive.
Oh, yeah, ice water in his veins.
Marching them down the field with those precise throws, perfect clock management, that final field goal by Cameron Dicker. I mean, that was as clutch as it gets.
Herbert really showcased his leadership in those final minutes. He didn't let the early pressure rattle him. He stayed focused, he made smart decisions, and he delivered when it mattered most.
He's a gamer, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
You know, I was thinking about something you said earlier about how the Falcons' run-heavy approach, you know. You were saying it might not be sustainable against tougher opponents. Do you think that's something they can adjust, or is it more of a...
It's a great question. I think they definitely have the personnel to be more balanced. You know, Ridder has shown flashes of brilliance as a passer, and they have some talented receivers in Pitts and Drake London.
Right. But isn't there also an argument to be made for sticking to your strengths, you know?
Yeah.
They've built this dominant running game. Maybe that's their best path to success, even if it's becoming less common in today's NFL.
I think it's about finding the right balance. They don't have to abandon the run, but they need to create more options, more unpredictability. If they become too one-dimensional, opposing defenses will figure them out. And that could limit their potential.
So it's about maximizing your strengths while minimizing your weaknesses.
Exactly.
And for the Falcons, that means developing a passing attack that complements their running game.
Right, not just relying on it as their sole source of offense.
This conversation really makes you appreciate how much strategy goes into every game, you know?
It's crazy, right?
It's like a giant chessboard out there, with coaches constantly trying to outmaneuver each other.
And the players are the pieces on the board.
Each with their own unique abilities and roles to play.
That's what makes the NFL so fascinating. Yeah. It's a constant battle of wits, athleticism, and execution.
You know, speaking of individual players, I want to circle back to Khalil Mack. You mentioned earlier how one player can have a ripple effect, and his impact on the Chargers defense was undeniable.
Mack is a fascinating case study in veteran leadership.
Right.
He might not always put up flashy stats,
right,
but his presence on the field is immense.
He's like a coach on the field, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Guiding the younger players, making adjustments, always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
It's about more than just talent. It's about understanding the game at a deep level. Anticipating your opponent's moves, making those split-second decisions that can change the course of a game.
His experience and football IQ are invaluable assets to the Chargers defense. It's like having an extra coach out there.
Absolutely. He's a leader, a mentor, and a true difference maker. You know, this game got me thinking about a question I've been pondering lately. How do you think this emphasis on mobile quarterbacks is impacting the way teams evaluate and draft quarterbacks in the future?
That's a great question. It seems like we're seeing more and more quarterbacks who can not only make plays with their arms, but also create havoc with their legs, you know? Guys like Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, even Justin Fields, they're changing the way the game is played.
They are. It's a whole new dimension to the quarterback position.
It's forcing defenses to rethink their strategies, and it's adding a whole new dimension to offensive play calling.
And to your point, it's definitely influencing how teams scout and evaluate quarterbacks.
So do you think this trend will continue, or is it just a passing fad? What does it mean for teams that have invested in more traditional passers, like the Chargers with Herbert?
It's a fascinating debate. On the one hand, the NFL has always been a cyclical league.
Right.
What's popular one year might be out of favor the next.
Right.
But on the other hand, this shift towards mobile quarterbacks seems to be more than just a trend. It feels like a fundamental shift in the way the position is played.
Yeah.
Teams are realizing that having a quarterback who can make plays with his legs creates so many more options, so much more unpredictability.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare for defenses.
And to your point about the cyclical nature of the NFL, we saw in this game how effective a traditional pocket passer like Herbert can be.
Right.
He might not be as mobile as some of those other quarterbacks, but he's incredibly accurate, has a strong arm, and he can dissect defenses with his mind.
He's a classic pocket passer, and there's still a place for that in the NFL.
Definitely.
It's a reminder that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to building a successful team in the NFL. You need to find the right players for your system, the right coaches to develop them, and the right strategies to maximize their potential.
It's all about finding the right pieces of the puzzle and putting them together in the right way. And maybe that's the biggest takeaway from this game. It's not just about who won or lost. It's about the different approaches, the strategic battles,
the individual performances
that make the NFL so compelling.
Every game is a story, a microcosm of the larger narrative that unfolds throughout the season. And it's our job as analysts, as fans, to unpack those stories, to explore the nuances, and to appreciate the complexities of this beautiful game.
Well said. But before we wrap up, I have to ask you about something that's been on my mind lately. The impact of analytics on the game. It seems like every year we hear more and more about how data is influencing everything, from play calling to player evaluation. Where do you stand on this whole analytics movement?
It's definitely a hot topic, and one that sparks a lot of debate within the NFL community.
Oh, yeah.
Some people embrace the analytical approach. They see it as a way to gain a competitive edge. They believe that data can provide valuable insights that might not be obvious to the naked eye.
I can see that.
Then there are those who are more skeptical. They argue that over-reliance on analytics can lead to overly conservative decision-making and take away from the art of coaching.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see both sides of the argument.
Yeah, it's a complex issue.
Data can be a powerful tool, but you can't just rely on numbers alone. There's still a human element to the game, instinct, intuition, experience, that can't be quantified.
I think the key is to find the right balance. Use analytics as a tool to inform your decisions, but don't let it dictate your every move.
Yeah.
The best coaches and organizations will find a way to blend the analytical approach with their own experience and instincts.
To use data to identify trends and patterns, but they'll also trust their gut and their knowledge of the game.
Exactly.
It's like any tool.
Yeah.
It can be used for good or for bad.
Exactly.
It all depends on the person wielding it.
It's about using data to enhance your understanding of the game, not to replace it.
And this whole discussion about analytics actually ties in quite nicely with the game we've been analyzing today. We saw the Falcons, a team that relies heavily on a traditional run-first approach, struggle against the Chargers, a team that embraces a more modern, pass-heavy, analytics-driven style of play.
It's a microcosm of the larger debate happening within the NFL. Is the old-school way of playing football becoming obsolete? Or is there still a place for those fundamental principles, even in today's data-driven world?
It's fascinating to watch it all unfold, isn't it? The NFL is constantly evolving, and this clash between tradition and innovation is just one of the many storylines that makes this league so captivating.
And it's a story that will continue to unfold in the weeks and months to come. As we head into the final stretch of the season, we'll see which teams can adapt, which teams can innovate, and which teams can find that delicate balance between data and intuition.
And we'll be here to break it all down for you right here on The Deep Dive. Now, before we move on to our final thoughts and predictions, let's take a quick moment to recap the key takeaways from this Chargers-Falcons matchup. What are some of the things that stood out to you?
I think for me, the biggest thing that jumped out was, just how important those in-game adjustments were.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chargers were getting dominated in that first half.
Yeah, they were.
And then they come out after halftime looking like a completely different team.
Right. Totally.
And that's coaching.
Yeah, it's coaching.
Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
They identified what wasn't working.
Yeah.
Made adjustments, put their players in a position to succeed.
And the players got to execute those adjustments, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You got to give the players credit, too, for being able to adapt on the fly like that.
Exactly. And on the Falcons side, we saw how that strong running game, it can be so effective, but also how it can become a liability if you don't have that balance, on offense.
Right.
You can't be one-dimensional.
It's like anything else in life, you need diversity.
Yeah.
You can't just rely on one thing. You need multiple options, multiple approaches to be truly successful.
Multiple tools in the toolbox.
Exactly.
So as we look ahead here, what are some of the key storylines you'll be watching for with these two teams? What do they need to do to improve and make a push for the playoffs?
Well, for the Falcons, it's all about finding that balance we keep talking about.
Yeah.
They have a dynamic running back in Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, he's special.
But they need to develop that passing game to keep defenses honest.
But isn't a strong running game still valuable in the playoffs, though?
Yeah.
Especially in bad weather conditions. It seems like a lot of teams abandon the run when they should stick with it.
That's a good point.
Right.
And it's definitely something to consider. But even in bad weather, you still got to be able to throw the ball effectively.
Yeah.
Even if it's just short passes to keep the chains moving, you can't become completely one-dimensional. Mm-hmm. Because good defenses, they'll take advantage of that.
Yeah, they'll figure you out.
Exactly.
So for the Falcons, it's about finding that sweet spot, maximizing their strengths, while also developing a more well-rounded attack.
Absolutely.
And for the Chargers, for them, it's about consistency. They've shown flashes of brilliance this season, but they've also had some head-scratching moments.
Some ups and downs, for sure.
Like that game against the Chiefs a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, that was a rough one.
They just couldn't get anything going on offense.
They have the talent, they have the coaching, but they need to put it all together week in and week out. They got to find that consistency, that killer instinct, if they want to be a true contender.
So if you had to make a prediction, which team do you think has more potential to make a deep playoff run? Based on what we've seen.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Both teams have their strengths and weaknesses. The Falcons have that dominant running game, but they need to develop more balance on offense. The Chargers, they have a more explosive, well-rounded attack, but they need to find that consistency we talked about.
It's like choosing between a powerful engine and a finely tuned machine.
Ooh, I like that analogy. It really captures the essence of this matchup. And honestly, I think it could go either way. If the Falcons can find that offensive balance and the Chargers can play up to their potential, they could both be dangerous teams in the playoffs.
I guess that's why we love the NFL, right? It's unpredictable, it's exciting, and you never know what's going to happen next. This game really was a microcosm of the league as a whole.
It really was. It had everything you could ask for. Strategic battles, individual brilliance, a nail-biting finish. It also gave us a glimpse into some of the larger trends shaping the NFL today. The rise of mobile quarterbacks, the increase in influence of analytics, that ongoing debate between tradition and innovation.
It's funny. I was just thinking about something you said earlier about how the NFL is constantly evolving. It's like a living organism, always adapting, always changing. And that's what makes it so fascinating to follow. You're never really done learning, are you?
Never. There's always something new to discover, some new wrinkle to analyze, some new trend to dissect.
And that's what keeps us coming back for more.
Exactly.
And that's what we try to do here on The Deep Dive, to go beyond the surface, to explore the nuances, to share our insights with you.
It's about more than just watching the games. It's about understanding them, appreciating them, engaging with them on a deeper level.
So as we wrap up this episode, we want to leave you with one final thought. Don't just be a spectator. Be an active participant in the NFL experience. Pay attention to the details, ask questions, challenge assumptions, and don't be afraid to dive deep into the fascinating world of professional football.
And most importantly, have fun.
That's right. The NFL is a game, and games are meant to be enjoyed. So, whether you're a diehard fan or a casual observer, we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the Chargers-Falcons matchup.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.